48-hour art check, round 15.
All right, we are back.
Yes, we
with
are.
An actual 2 days this time, which is good news.
Way better and totally necessary based on everything that's going on. Yeah, the one day wouldn't have been good. So,
No.
Yeah. So
how you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm really good. We did I completely forgot that I was pitching some stuff with the there's a student-run advertising agency that I am involved with, and we were pitching some stuff to a company down in Salt Lake, which is a 4-hour drive south, and so I had an 8-hour round-trip drive today to have a 3-hour meeting, and I forgot that was happening until last night, and so
oh wow,
it was. So I did like a 13, 14-hour day. So it's good that we're doing 2 days because today was kind of shot until right now.
Yeah, I'm in a similar position. I think I explained this before we got going, but my wife was sick, and so basically got sick at the end of our trip to Disneyland, and so today I've been on just watching Benji duty,
right,
and just never had an instance, and then decided to play around on After Effects. So I'll probably be watching a lot of your tutorials. If I can buy the time, but thinking about it, I think I actually probably need to just at least get a little bit of comicking done today.
Yeah.
So anyhow, should we get into what we got done?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So I think I started last time. So
okay.
What did you get done this
time? Not as much as I would have hoped. But I got this page done. So the page on the right, I finished a little while ago, and the page on the left is what I did last night. And it doesn't look like a lot, but because I was really indecisive, there's a lot of whiteout on that page, trying to decide exactly how I wanted to do this. And I initially mistakenly thought I'll just black it out so it'll be fast, because from a storytelling standpoint, I just need that to be like a real quick pause. I don't need people to look at excruciating detail on how the box is made and all that. But instead of completely blacking it out, I tried to draw grass in 4 different ways and white it out each time. And so I ended up with this one, with this super simple page that took me way longer than it should have. But I think it does what I needed to do. It's not going to be a star. It's not going to be a page that anybody cares about to buy or anything. But it serves the story. So that's kind of what I did. I was anticipating getting a lot more done, but I was working from 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. So that was that kind of took everything. So yeah, that's basically it.
Understandable. I wouldn't sell it short. I mean, simple isn't always bad,
Yeah, so. I agree, and it's just hard for me to not flog myself for it not being a super painful page. You know what I mean? My wrist didn't hurt afterwards. It didn't take me 12 hours to ink because it wasn't like a ridiculous amount of detail. And so sometimes I just feel like it was somehow less work, and somehow that's cheating or something. But I mean, it's exactly what I thumbnailed. It's exactly what I expected it to be. I planned on that, and when I'm looking at globally the story from a thumbnail perspective of all of the story beats and everything laid out, it's what I need it to be. But it just wasn't very hard. So
yeah. I think that's one of those working smart versus working hard. It seems like a good call on that. For probably in the story, I'm imagining it's probably an area that needs a little breathing room too. So
right.
Yeah. All right. Should I get into?
Sure. So
So,
what did you get done in the last 2 days?
okay, so I basically got the layout, so that's on the left, the rough layout and type done, which doesn't look like much, but it did take a little bit of time. And then I posted the latest page of on my Tapas, tapas.io, where you can read quarterly stories by just looking for quarterly stories there and adding it to your library. And those aren't syndicating in the same time as my website. So my website, if you're following like quarterlystories.com, that has every page up to the page I'm working on. On Tapas, I'm just maintaining a weekly schedule, and I think it's on page 28 or something like that. So it's backdated, but it's easier to read on your phone or on your iPad, and so I'm just kind of trying the two. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So Tapas is optimized for mobile,
Mm-hmm.
and Quarterly Stories is a website, kind of like most webcomics used to be, where it's a basic website progression or whatever. But that's the one that you
Mm-hmm.
started, and Tapas, you're like kind of seeing if you can reach out and gain a new audience. So you're
Yeah.
just doing one a week. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's kind of backdated, but anyhow, so I am really looking forward to getting to hopefully at least the rough pencils for that first panel.
Yeah.
That's kind of my goal. By the next time we talk, I'd like to have, because I have the whole weekend, I'd like to have I'd like to say at least half of the rough pencils, if not more, done for the page by Monday. But
Mm.
ideally, it'd be nice to rough pencil the whole page.
Yeah.
But we'll see, you know?
Well, I know you don't feel the need to point this out often, but I feel the need to point this out often because this is, to me, really impressive. You are hand lettering these pages, like with a pen, not with a computer. And so everything that you see there on the left, even though it looks like you could knock that out in a few seconds in Illustrator, those are all hand ruled lines and hand lettered text boxes, which which is cool because it really fits like with the rest of this style, but also is way more time consuming than it might seem based on the fact that a lot of letters in comics nowadays just kind of type it into Illustrator or InDesign and throw it over the top of the art.
Yeah, and I mean, like in this case, like with my lettering, a lot of it is kind of based in Illustrator
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning. So in this case, this is kind of a simplified Illustrator layout. What I'm going to do, what I do with this is basically print it out with my roughs, and then I kind of lightbox it and kind of cheat my hand lettering. So it's kind of a weird thing where it's a mix between the two.
Right.
But the reason I do it that way, and the reason it's kind of more time consuming that way, is like literally an aesthetic thing. Because I always feel like digital type over traditional art just doesn't quite read that well.
Right.
So that's kind of the thinking behind it. There's a lot more behind it than that, but we should get into that a little more some other time. Maybe than by the time I start getting into the inks on this guy.
Yeah, that'd be interesting because when I finish up what I'm working on right now with the Tongue-Cut Sparrow, inked pages, kind of the next step is going to be lettering that. And I'm still not quite sure how I want to do that. Because, I mean, it's a very fluid and organic style of ink, given that, 98% of it is brushwork.
Yeah.
And so it might look super weird to have... I mean, I think I've got some fonts that I think would look all right, but it also might look super weird to have it be computer. And so I don't know. I mean, most children's books, do have, like, typeset computer fonts in them.
Yeah, that's true. There's a couple exceptions I can think of, like, I mean, Sendak's like the first that comes to mind.
Right.
A lot of Sendak stuff is hand lettered.
Yeah.
And I think there's a couple guys, like there's like John Rocco does a little bit of hand lettering in his books and stuff. So it kind of just depends on the aesthetic. And once again, I don't think the choice should be to do it just because, you know, I'm not a big fan of working harder. I think you should work smart.
Yeah.
What I've found is it actually speeds up the process because it causes me to kind of think about layout and type before I'm thinking about my composition. And so it makes space. I mean, it's weird. I guess I'm thinking about my composition, but I'm making sure the space is there first. And so it's like I never end up with like squeezed in type and stuff. But it does seem like you're accommodating a lot of space for your text on your pages. And I think the whole thing with lettering is just you got to go with what's going to look best. You know.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I tend to default to the computer a lot because, admittedly, I'm just not real strong in typography, and so it's easier for me to use character palette than it is to do it by hand. Though actually, a lot of my stickers and T-shirt designs are hand lettered.
Yeah, they look great.
Kind of in a similar way to what you're doing is I'll get the type the way I want it, and I'll draw over the top of it, just because for the same reason. It just looks super weird, especially in an illustration where 80% of the illustration is a typeface. Having that be like crisp and clean, and then having everything else have kind of some varied line weight and stuff. It doesn't mesh, and it looks super funky. So.
Oh, entirely. And I mean, it's funny because the first time I heard it was, you know, a friend in Portland who's a cartoonist who looked at my stuff and was like, why aren't there letters on this page? You know, it was like original ink pages.
Right.
And I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, it's going to look weird. Like, it just looks weird to have, you know, like a digital balloon and a digital letter over a comic. Yeah. And that's like hand done. And I have noticed that. Like, however, I've also seen it done very smoothly where, you know, you wouldn't notice at all, especially for a more digital style, even if you're working traditionally. So It just kind of depends. But I am a big fan of it. Like I always encourage it because I think when we illustrate type, it makes us more engaged with type than, you know, I think illustrators and animators tend to be more into the image.
Yeah.
And I think once you start drawing the type, it's like it really makes you start learning type better and making better type choices and stuff. Yeah. So, all right, should we get into struggles?
Sure. Yeah, for me, not a ton of struggles other than there's some stuff that I needed to get done today at work that I will get done after this. Just because I spent most of the day in the car. It's pretty cool though. We pitched like a VR, AR kind of booth space design, and it was fun to see the students in that environment. So it was cool. So to call it a struggle, like it wasn't like hard. It just took a huge block of time. And then yeah, just my schedule's slowly slipping out of whack because my wife and daughter are gone, and so you know, all of a sudden I can't get enough sleep and I'm super tired. I don't. It just seems like every time I have a ton of time, which will be really good, and we can talk about that during the planning spot. But as far as like, you know, being an adult and going to bed when it makes sense, I just forget because there's no one to be like, hey, are you gonna go to bed? And so all of a sudden it's 2 a.m. and I'm like, oh, I've got to get up at 6. So
yeah.
But yeah, this weekend will be good because I don't need to have a normal sleep schedule, and I get most of my best work done after 11 o'clock anyway. So
yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. It's like I keep knowing these creatives that have switched to morning schedules for like before work.
Right.
They'll work on their daily, you know, comic habit or something. And I'm always amazed by that because I just like I have never been wired that way. I've tried to rewire and I just don't engage, even if I'm awake, which is rare. Like when I wake up, it takes me about an hour to really get in the flow of the day.
Yeah.
And it's even if I have one of those rare mornings where I do everything right, I go to bed at a certain time and, you know, do the workout and all that stuff. I still find my brain just doesn't work unless like it's like around 11. Or, yeah, or like well, it's just late at night is when my
Right.
creativity like kind of sings, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but also I think it's fine. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people, I think there's this movement in kind of the whole productivity self help to like claim that mornings are way more productive than any other time, and I do think that's true for some people, but I don't think that anything is true for everyone. And for
Oh yeah.
me, I'm kind of the same. Like I even go out of my way to not schedule meetings before 10 a.m. because I'm not going to bring value to that meeting. Like I can check emails, I can slowly ease into my day, I can get stuff done, but like interacting with other human beings, that is not going to go well.
Yeah.
So so and that's whether I have, a full 9 hours of sleep or 4 hours of sleep. It's not because I'm tired. It's just because whatever it is with my particular rhythm, like I've always been way more productive and active at night. I just always have.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, no matter what everyone says. And it kind of actually bothers me that there's all these people that are like, oh, yeah, you think you're productive, but you're not. And it's like, no, I actually am. Like, I'm an adult and I understand my productivity. I'm not fooling myself. I'm not,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, this is how I work. So,
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know. Anyway. Little
No, I'm
mini
100% on
rant.
board with that. I do know that I'm very thankful we live in an era of electricity because
Right.
I'm up so late that in an era of like, oil lamps, like I would have probably accidentally lit the house on fire at some point.
Right. I would be a terrible
So,
farmer. Up with the sun is not something that I'm great at. But yeah.
all right.
I completely forgot where we are on stages.
Struggles. I think I
Oh,
already kind of covered mine. Like my main one was just my wife getting sick and just trying to find time and trying to stay on target.
yeah.
So yeah. So
So planning.
plan?
So this weekend, since it's just me on my own, um, I might attempt to try to do an entire spread again because I was able to do that last time. Because usually one of these spreads takes me a week, but I was actually able to get two spreads done the last time my wife was out of town for that race. So I might try that again. I don't know how far I'll get, but I'm actually really close to being done. There's one page that I want to redo because I don't like it, so that'll put me a little bit behind. But from like a wrap on this book of all 38 pages, I think I have 5 more pages to do.
That's not bad.
Yeah, within the next couple weeks, I will finish this and it'll be inked and in the can. So my plan is significant progress. I know that's not like a specific plan, but before Monday, I'd like to have a lot of ink on some pages, and we'll see how far I'll get. And I'm gonna put in a good 15 to 20 hours between now and then. So
That's awesome. That's a really good plan. I think it's like that's the beauty. We touched on this the last time, but that's the beauty of being a creative. Is like, um, it, one of my biggest pet peeves in life is somebody saying they're bored.
yeah.
Because I would kill to be bored
Right.
and have access to my art stuff because
Yeah.
I could understand boredom if you have no access to any of the things you need for your project.
Right.
But if I've got like drawing time, it's just how can you call that bored?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
All right, so my plan is wait. Did I already say? I think I already said what my plan was. My plan is just to get
To that top panel.
yeah. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. I just want to get the rough drawings done for the top panel hopefully tonight, and I'm hoping that this weekend I can at least get like to the halfway point of the rough pencils. The nice thing about this is the inking actually takes less time than the structure and the drawing.
Yeah.
And so like the other style, it's like the inking usually takes equal to longer, um, whereas in this style it takes like less time. So
Yeah. That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah, that's way cool.
yeah, and then just hopefully work out and all that and stay with that. I've been consistent with that, which is good. Except I did miss the day I was at Disney.
Yeah. The day you're at Disney where you probably walked 10 miles anyway at Disney.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure I got in some kind of workout and then ate away any relevant gain to that.
Yeah. Whereas on my side of the equation, I haven't worked out and I've completely failed this week at that, and I need to get back on the horse. And to add insult to injury, this burrito place that my friend started that like went out of control with like franchises and everything,
Uh-huh.
and it left town several years ago because he sold a franchise and needed a truck. He put in a physical location, and so I really need to work out because this burrito place is back in town, and I just had one today, and I will probably gain 20 pounds just based on the meal I just ate there, and so I really need to start working. I need to get out of the habit of working out for 5 days and then not working out for 7 days because that's not helpful.
Yeah, well, at burritos, man, I almost think that's like that's one of my biggest vices is burritos, especially breakfast burritos. It's like
Oh,
I can't turn down.
and these burritos are crazy. It's like if you could any of your favorite foods shoved
Uh-huh.
into a burrito. They have like a cheeseburger burrito where it's like it's got hamburger and it's got like cheese and Swiss cheese, and then they jam like French fries and like sauce and stuff, and then they cook it as a burrito. They have another one that's called, and it's all like luchador themed. Like the branding is phenomenal, and so they have another one called the Carne Assassin. It's like four different types of meat, and then just sauce, and then
Oh, that's
rice.
amazing.
Every one of them like will give you a heart attack, and every one of them tastes amazing. And it's
Dude, just that theme alone, it's like I'd be doing some bartering for some art. Just be like,
yeah,
dude, just give me a burrito supply for the year and
right.
I'll do your menu and branding. Just
Oh
I
man,
want a year of just being able to walk in and be like, I will take 3 burritos. Boom.
yeah. I'll have to send you to the site because it's pretty rad. And like the guy, my buddy's like a writer, and he's a hilarious writer. He does like radio ads and stuff, and their menus and their website, everything is just super funny. Like really, really good. And so I don't know. Anyway, luckily it's like I say it's in town because I live in the middle of nowhere. It's like 30 miles down the road, so it's still inconvenient enough to where I'm not going to have it for lunch every day.
Yeah.
But if it was here, I would have it for lunch every day. I would be 500 pounds in 2 months and I'd die. So
Yeah. Yeah. Like half your salary goes to burritos and like
right,
just and then healthcare. I
right,
love it.
yeah,
No, I get it, man. If
yeah,
there were a good burrito place like a walk away from my house, I would be lower on cash and on health.
yep, absolutely.
All
So
right.
cool.
Well, I'm excited about seeing the progress, and I think we both got to pick it up a bit.
Yeah,
Honestly, just looking at it, because I'm like, I personally feel like I should have made a little bit more progress. Um, so I'm gonna try to kind of up my game a little bit and catch up to
yeah.
where I should.
Me too. I think we both met our goals this week.
Hmm.
But
Yes.
I intentionally chose the easiest page I could do because I ran out of time, and so I did what I needed to do, but just barely and kind of phoned it in. Uh, and it looks all right. I needed to finish
I think
that
it
page
looks
anyway.
great.
Yeah.
I think it looks great. It's just the way you were speaking about it, where I'm like, I don't know if you feel like you put in put in as
Yeah.
much as you.
I don't know.
Um,
So many of these pages that I've done have been just me bleeding to death on the table because it's just so much work. That when I give it a breather, I'm like, when I do like a spot illustration, which is like a normal thing to do in a children's comic or
oh
children's
yeah.
book, because you need that for the pacing because you don't have like panel sizes.
Hmm.
I just feel like I'm phoning it in, but I'm not. I mean, I planned out when those are. I'm like, I have, I'm like meeting with my mentor. I'm like reviewing like when I should do that and stuff. But I totally agree. I could have gotten way more done this week, and just didn't. So
I think you did fine considering what came up, but I think we'll up our game
right.
like the next time. So
yeah, for sure.
I'm looking forward to it because
Cool.
we got Saturday and Sunday to rock it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay. So we will we'll see you guys all on Josh's channel next. And if you want to check out Josh's stuff, you can go to quarterlystories.com, where all of the pages that are completed are up. You can also look at his comic updated weekly at Tapas, which is optimized for mobile. So if you've got an iPad or some kind of tablet or a phone, it's really good for that. You can check out my stuff at corykerr.com. And this is my channel. And so if you haven't subscribed for some reason, subscribe, hit that bell so you get notified when we do this, and hit that thumbs up button. Special thanks to No Saboteurs for licensing I said that really weird, the intro music. And you should go check out their stuff as well. Their Facebook page is right there. And we'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.
Bye.